Welcome to my Friday night live stream, and tonight's topic is about foundations. I actually had a dream this morning about like a bringing of depth to the foundations where it's brought to a whole different level. And I just sense there's a lot of clarity on that topic, so I'm just going to read some scripture. Isaiah 26:16 says, "Look, I have laid a foundation stone in Zion, a tested stone, a precious cornerstone, a sure foundation. The one who believes will be unshakable." And then the New Testament, it quotes it from 1 Peter 2:6, says, "For it stands in Scripture, Behold, I am laying in Zion a stone, a cornerstone, chosen and precious, and whoever believes in him will not be put to shame." Something really stood out today is bringing it back to basics, bringing it back to Jesus. Because when you add all these other fancy things in it, those things will fail you, but Jesus will never fail you. And I know this stood out to me one time in a difficult time in my life, that scripture about he who believes in him, Jesus, will never be put to shame. I was having a conversation with the Lord in all the most spiritual places, which would be a shower. And I was like, Lord, I'm afraid of being happy, because the thing I was dealing with back then was depression. And that's a long, wonderful story with that. It's just being delivered and healed and set free from that and just filled with the joy of the Lord. But I heard a response, and it was, if you base it on you, it'll fail. If you base it on Jesus, it'll stand. And I kind of got one of those aha moments, I guess you could say. I was like, wow, I guess there's been a lot of stuff based on me, and it doesn't work very well. Which is, it's a sobering moment, but it's a good thing, because everybody needs to come to that place of surrender where you just give up on your own efforts and you just fall in Jesus, because that's what really works. You got to realize that without him, you could do nothing. With him, you could do all things. So back to that scripture about he who trusts in him, or he who believes on him, will never be put to shame. When you get that, your stability level is going to go way up in every area of your life, because it's not going to be based on your own efforts, but you're going to realize his grace. That's his gift to you, is himself. And it's not going to be about having faith in your faith anymore. It's going to be about having faith in him. And it's not going to be measured by your past, but it's going to be measured by Christ. Because a lot of times, guys, we're using the wrong measuring stick. It's the measure of his gift, not the measure of your past performance or the measure of your past experience. It's him. And I believe like a lot of things are being exposed as far as this foundational thing that have been false foundations, where they've not been based on Christ. They've been based on other things. And there's a bit of shaking for a while. That's okay. Let it shake loose. Let it be exposed. Let it settle down. Because in the end, if you start believing in him, start trusting in him, there's going to be such stability brought to that. And there's areas that are going to be tested, and it's not God doing the testing. But that is happening so that what is of God will be proved evident. And when this shaking starts happening, don't be disturbed about it. And one thing I realized is like, thing that encourages me the most is when things are not going right, and I get this revelation of Jesus, and I just hang on like a bulldog, and I realize my stability is based on him. And in the end, I come out even more amazed at him, and I'm more stable, because that thing that was happening could not change Jesus, but it changed me to realize more of Jesus. And it brings me to another scripture from Matthew 7, and it's that whole parable of building your house on the rock is talking about doing the word, because it says, whoever hears these words of Jesus and does them will be like a wise man who builds his house upon the rock. So the getting back to the basics of trusting God will bring you through everything. It's nothing fancy. It's just trust him. And it's like when you start seeing his love for you, that trust starts coming naturally. It's not something you pump up, it's something you settle into. And I actually recently watched a video by Mark Ellis from South Africa that inspired part of this video. And it just kind of brought everything together. Today, when I started seeing this picture again of this foundation coming up, is in when you are doing what Jesus says, it'll work. Because he always works, because he doesn't lie. Sorry there, I got something in my throat trying to itch, but it's got to go. So, step out in doing the word. Whatever it is that you need to trust God and just go for it. Because there's a difference between trying to accomplish something in your own efforts and you end up with an Ishmael. And there's a difference between just trusting God. Laughter comes with that. Resurrection life comes with that. And the power of God is made manifest. That's what Isaac is like. But I'm going to close up for today.